What's up everyone, it's OJH. We are back at it again, this time with a level 24 red difficulty Sneed run in the Gnomeregan dungeon. I'm not a huge fan of this dungeon and I did not find this easy at all. I did die a couple of times, but it was down to me doing something silly rather than the deck, so let's have a look at the deck. So first up we've got the leader Sneed with the Sneed before greed talent. This is great if you can get Sneed or any of your other siege units to claim a siege tower or a meeting stone for additional gold. Stone Hutoran is the main tank with a double charge ability, which I honestly believe is so important on this mini. Batrider, just protect your Batrider at all costs, and this will be 2 gold that's extremely well spent. Gargoyle with the faster movement talent. This mini plays a huge role in the first and the second fights with the faster movement speed and is a top pick for me in this dungeon. Chimera, I've said this before and I'll say it again, I honestly thought this mini was absolutely useless, but it's proved me wrong and it does so well in the first 2 bosses in this dungeon. Footman, great for split lane pushes or split lane defense, especially on the second boss where you'll be defending multiple lanes at the same time. And finally, we've got the Pyromancer with the Pyroblast talent to deal triple damage on the first attack. Again, protect this mini, and for 3 gold, you will get some crazy value. So let's get into the run, and let's look at the first relics. So first up, we've got after deploying the leader, the next horde will be 1 less gold. We've got lifesteal, or we've got the leader gains 1 of level every time it is deployed. Now my Sneed is only level 20. This is a level 24 dungeon, so I've opted to take the +1 every time Sneed is deployed, just to try and bring up the strength of the deck as the fight progresses. So aim of the game will be to get as many of the belts that appear as possible, get the chests, take that central meeting stone, and push from there. So a good idea, I think, always is you can send something up this left-hand lane. You probably will need to maybe send a splash unit with it because the chickens do arrive. But if not, you can just let that go because the that mini will have the belt on, the protective belt, so will do a pretty good job. And then start pushing into the middle, do what you can to get hold of that chest, contest that meeting stone, and then you should hopefully keep hold of that for the majority of the fight. And then you can get some pushes going from there. So if you did know, or if you didn't know, that the boss, when it does its twirl, will knock all ground troops off the platform, but that doesn't affect flying minis. So if you've got something like the Gargoyle, something like Batrider, something like Chimera going in there, then they will be knocked back, as you may well see in a moment, but they'll just fly back to the boss and keep attacking. So all you're really going to need to do here is keep hold of that central meeting stone and then just keep looking at the left 2 chests and see if they are available for you to get hold of. I do like to try and get as many of the belts as possible, as they do give you that immunity from being knocked off the platform, and also they give you that damage defense, that extra defense, making you immune for a period of time as well. So at the moment we've lost that central meeting stone, but like I say, it's reasonably easy to take that meeting stone back. Defend it if you can, but you're much better off setting up a bigger push from your home base before just wasting minis in the middle. So both the chests are up at the moment. We've got the Tauren, which is going to take the middle one, which is great. The belts has come up on the left hand side, so we're going to send a split footman push up that left hand side. We'll get a hold of that belt and we'll also get a hold of the chest, so we'll be in a really good spot here to win the economy war. So we're going to send the Gargoyle round to the right hand side. If that belt had spawned, that would have been amazing, but it hasn't, but that's no problems, because I think you should be able to get to see what happens when the Gargoyle is knocked back here. There you go, Gargoyle's knocked back. Any other troop that would have gone in there would now be dead, but the Gargoyle just flies back again and repeats attacking, and that'll just continue happening. So air units on this particular boss are really, really important, but you can't go all out air because they're not very good at all on the final boss, but we'll get to that. So as you can see, Chimera doing really, really good work, Footman doing really good work. Pyromancer is hiding behind the back of, has been shielded by the Footman, and that's a pretty straightforward kill of the first boss. So let's have a look at what relics we're going to get this time. So we got 2 spiderlings, or mining gold will heal your towers, I think it was, or your minis, costing 4 or 5 gold will deploy with a protective shield. This boss in particular, I hate this. I find these first attack also just be really, really difficult. So I've gone for the protective shield on minis costing 4 or 5 gold. In my opinion, if you sit back and try and defend these first attacks, then you just get overwhelmed. It seems like the enemy has just an unlimited source of gold, so hence I sent the gargoyle in on the left hand side to try and take that left siege tower, or at least put some pressure on. Footmen deploying there with the shield, really good to split them. They'll soak up loads of damage, give you time to regenerate some gold, and then you can get one of your air units down whilst the footmen are tanking. And then we can clean that up, reasonably straightforward. We're still with 3 footmen left and Chimera at full health. So all in all, a good defense on our part. Now, what I would do in these early stages is don't get too drawn into contesting that central chest. I've done it this time and I just about get away with it, but you can see there's a big push coming in from the right, and on another day that might not have worked out for me. So I've dropped Sneed there. I've got the Bat Rider, as I said, protected Bat Rider just getting insane value on all of that, and we're looking in quite a good spot. We've done a reasonable job of defending there. I've lost about a third of our tower. We're a minute and 20 in. And we're just going to fire a gargoyle down the left because we really need to start taking some towers here. I think the important bit for me on this one is for you to get through the first attack or so and then start making some progress up the map. If you sit back and just soak attack after attack, you're just asking for trouble. So as you can see, I've taken this left down tower, and all of a sudden I'm being faced with a Mountaineer and Spiderlings. So something like Chimera, really good, doesn't get too wrapped up in the poison that's around that and can help with our defense. I wouldn't worry too much about the 2 minis that you can see attacking our base on the screen. They really don't do too much at all, and given the success that we've had on the left hand side, we're now going to start looking to push to take that right tower as well. The enemy immediately defending, but we've got Pyromancer coming in, huge first hit, takes out both enemy minis and the siege tower. So we're in a great spot now. We've got both towers. We've got both towers taken. We've got control of both of the gold mines. One thing that I have noticed is when the enemy sends the 3 little purpled hair minis down the map, that normally means that the central chest is going to spawn pretty soon as to when that central enemy mini gets in line with it, so you can sort of time your minis going back across the bridge to try and contest that chest. So we're doing okay. We've not got massive damage onto the boss, but really what I'm trying to do is, and it's not quite working out at the moment, is I'm just trying to set up some sort of push, because I want to get a bit of a counter push going. I want the enemy to use a load of its gold, and then I want to be able to get something going. But there's just an endless troop, and I do find this fight to be quite difficult. As you can see, we've got a Harvester that's come down on the left. So that counter push that I had there originally was a 4 footmen and a Chimera is down to just 2 barely alive footmen, and in fact is now been completely wiped out. And now we're defending another Mountaineer again. We've just run out of normal time. We've got 1 minute left. So this, quite frankly, is where I'm just going to start dropping as many troops as possible. I want to get that gold. Don't forget to farm the gold in amongst all of your defense if you can. It'll pay dividends in the long run. And I'm just trying to drop as many minis as possible, because we don't have any spells in this. We don't have any unbounds, so we can't get direct boss damage. So we are going to have to fight our way through anything that is dropped and do the best that we can. Again, things like Gargoyle, really good for this. As it's a siege unit, we'll just avoid or ignore enemy minis, and we'll go straight to it. I'm not too worried about losing the siege tower on the left at this stage. We've got 20 seconds, and I've got a slither of boss health to get rid of. Gargoyle's going in with the protective shield on it. I'm not worried about defending. We either win here or we draw. So it's kind of all in. And Gargoyle coming in, getting the job done despite a lot of enemy units being dropped on defense. So again, you can maybe be a little bit more aggressive than me on that one, or you might spot some areas where I made some mistakes, because there's plenty of them, but all in all, good enough to get the job done. So final set of relics then, what have we got here? So we've got Bloodlust if anyone dies, we've got additional 25% physical reduction for armoured minis, and then I can't remember what the last one said, but all in all, again, I don't think that this is a great set of talents, if I'm honest. On this boss, we're really not going to use gargoyles, so it having a 25% damage reduction doesn't do too much for me at all. So on this boss, this is where the double charge of the Tauren is going to come in really well, because he's going to charge to the mage unit. Pyromancer going in, getting some good damage on those hits, that first hit, especially with the additional talent, and get your mana down as much as possible, because this one is going to be where you can mine as much gold as you can, but your Sneed before greed talent isn't going to do much for you at this point, and your air troops as well that have got you to this stage by being so good in the first two bosses really don't do too much for you here. So what you want to do obviously is that you want to be patient, and you want to be contesting as many of the light bulbs as you can, but equally you don't want to be just going after everything. So again, with me, what I like to do on this one is just split footman in the back. Just give yourself an opportunity to get the left hand light bulbs and the right hand light bulbs. I don't tend to use any of my air units, but obviously Chimera on this one, because there's an opportunity to get some value, then absolutely. But you'd probably be better off just cycling your cheaper ground units just to keep some pressure on the light bulbs. Keep your kobold going out. Just keep mining gold. I would say keep splitting your footmen, as I've done again. And I've got a really good start here. I mean, what are we? We're like halfway through. We've not taken too much damage on this one. Enemies got just under half left. But it's not the time to think this is done and dusted, because I've not really got any gold, so I can't play any minis at this point. So we're going to take some damage, and through this fight you are going to take damage anyway. So don't worry about it, and don't worry about being like behind in damage, because you can make it up. But it doesn't take much for this fight to swing. So I really didn't want to play Sneed there, but with that Molten Giant coming down the left hand side, that would have just taken out all three of the light bulbs on the left. So we've got to do some defense at that point. So at this stage, like I say, we're in a good spot. You know, there's only going to be a couple more hits. We're still mining though. You've got to keep mining. Got to keep that economy ticking over. And then I've looked and I've seen that left hand side. There's not much going on over there. There's a Molten Giant, which I'm not going to get too involved with, and there is a safe pilot. So I've decided to drop all my footmen on the right hand side just to get this this boss over the line. Just take those last couple of light bulbs to get this done. And there we go. I hope that this helps. It wasn't the cleanest run, like I say, I did die a couple of times, but hopefully that will help you out. If it does, please let me know how you got on in the comments. If you have found this useful, give it a thumbs up, get yourself subscribed for more regular content. I'm trying to help you guys and girls out in the community, and I'll see you in the next one.